Halina Konopacka. First woman ever to win a track and field gold medal at the Olympic Games and Poland's first Olympic gold medalist. To succeed at sport, Konopacka used to say, it needs to be done con amor. What I don't understand is sport without passion. Cold-blooded necessity is good for calisthenics. She was convinced that sport is born from the joy of life, the blue of the sky and the green of the grass. Perhaps that is why Konopacka excelled at the discus throw, shot put, javelin throw, high jump and running and broke records. She became Poland's national champion 26 times in 10 different athletic disciplines. She also won an Olympic gold and 2 gold medals at the Women's World Games. Altogether, she set 7 world records in the discus throw and shot put. Sport had always been present in Konopacka's life, but she only started high-performance training at the age of 24. She was born on the 26th of February 1900 at Rawa Mazowiecka as Leonarda Kazimiera. She later chose the name Halina as female athletes in the early 20th century, when women's sports were in their infancy, often resorted to pseudonyms to avoid scandal. She descended from Polish landed gentry with a formidable pedigree. In 1543, Poland's King Sigismund I the Old personally extolled the Konopacki family for their noble spirit, strong bodies and faithful service to the fatherland. Halina grew up in Warsaw. Blessed with a strong frame and unusually tall, nearly 6 feet, she tried every discipline, including swimming, rowing, basketball, handball and tennis. In the winter, she ice skated and was a passionate skier, recognizable on the slopes at Zakopane in her matching red beret and jumper. The hat, which she had sewn herself, became her trademark headgear at every subsequent sporting event. In autumn 1924, she threw the discus for the first time at the urging of a coach from the Students' Sport Association. Thanks to her long arms and excellent sense of rhythm, she set a national record after just a few attempts. She was a genuine natural. After training for just a couple of months, she broke the world record of 33.405 meters. In 1928, Konopacka took part in the Olympic Games in Amsterdam, the first time female athletes were allowed to compete. The women's discus throw event was held on a cold, rainy day. With her feet bogging down in the wet grass inside the throwing circle and the discus slipping out of her grip, she nevertheless produced a world record throw of 39.62 meters on her first attempt, good enough to claim the gold. Today, when women throw more than 70 meters, that distance might not seem impressive, but back then Konopacka's achievements thrilled a worldwide audience. It was the first medal in history awarded in women's athletics and the first Olympic gold for Poland. Konopacka was also crowned Miss Olympia and was lauded by journalists as a queen in every aspect: style, posture, grace, and strength. Her achievements inspired other women to follow her example, encouraging the establishment of women's sports clubs in Poland. The same year, she married Ignacy Matuszewski, a member of the International Olympic Committee, the head of military intelligence during the 1920 Polish-Soviet War, and Treasury Minister in 1929 to 1931. Konopacka won 1 more gold medal in the discus at the Women's World Games in Prague before she retired from athletics in 1930. During her careers as a competitive athlete, she remained undefeated in her core discipline, the discus throw, an unprecedented feat for a female athlete. She was also developing her talents in the creative arts, publishing a volume of poetry entitled Someday in 1929. Well-educated and fluent in several languages, Konopacka shone in cultural salons. She took an active role in promoting women's sport, including internationally. She played tennis and drove in auto rallies, an unusual sport for women at the time. At the outbreak of World War II in September 1939, Halina's husband was ordered to evacuate the National Bank of Poland's gold reserves to prevent them from falling into German hands. Nearly 18 tons bullion were packed into the seats of city buses and other vehicles for transport to the Romanian border. Halina, as the sole woman driver, brought up the rear of a convoy composed of a dozen or so vehicles. After collecting the gold from several locations, the column departed Lublin on the 7th of September, travelling by night and resting in woods during the day, their vehicles camouflaged in tree branches to prevent them from being spotted by the Luftwaffe. On reaching Śniatyn, the gold was loaded onto a train which was bound for the Black Sea port of Constanta. From there it was shipped to Istanbul, reloaded onto a train and dispatched to Beirut, whence Matuszewski spirited it via French warship to Toulon and safekeeping in Sèvres. Halina joined her husband in France, and ultimately they escaped from Europe through Spain to the United States. During the course of these wanderings, Konopacka's suitcase with her Olympic gold medal was lost and never recovered. After Matuszewski's death in 1946, Konopacka remarried and settled permanently in the US. She went on to design clothes and open her own boutique. To relax, she liked to paint and sail. She visited Poland 3 times. She died on the 28th of January 1989 in Daytona Beach, Florida, and was laid to rest at the Brudno Cemetery in Warsaw. Konopacka used to say she was born under a lucky star that followed her through life. She never gave up. The stronger the will and confidence in winning I have, the better my results are.